From 2016, when we ran our first cohort in Los Angeles, and John Yamamoto, whom you'll hear from very shortly, knows exactly what I'm talking about because he's been there since day one. From one cohort in Los Angeles, we've run 14 cohorts through 2019. As you can see from some of the results, and you're all going to get this deck that we're showing slides from immediately following this presentation. So if you're missing anything, don't worry about taking notes. All these slides will be sent to everybody who's joined us here this morning. But from one cohort in Los Angeles, we've run 14 of them. And those cohorts, those small businesses funded by Kaiser Permanente, have created almost 1,400 good paying jobs during the past couple of years. So thanks to Kaiser, thanks for their leadership, and you'll understand when you hear from John Yamamoto, Greg Christian, and Vita Willett, you'll understand exactly why this is so important to Kaiser Permanente in terms of their mission, vision, and values. I've got a lot of people to thank, and I'll do it very quickly. First, to Roberto Tinajero, the Senior Managerial Consultant for Kaiser, who has been our main point of contact for kickoff planning and cohort recruitment. Berta, we know you well. We're deeply grateful for your leadership. To Beth Tremblay, who's not with us today because she's traveling east, Manager of Upstream Community Health for Kaiser. She's been involved since I first met her in Pasadena in 2016. And John, I hope you'll convey our appreciation to Beth. To you, John, Vice President of Community Health, Government Relations, and Community Engagement for Kaiser Foundation Hospitals and the Health Plan in Southern California. You've been a champion from day one and continue to be a champion to this day. To Greg Christian, whom I acknowledged earlier, Senior Vice President, Area Manager for Kaiser Foundation in the San Bernardino County Service Area. I'll have a couple of more things to say about Greg in just a moment. Thanks to Vita Willett, Senior Vice President and Area Manager for the Kaiser Foundation Health Plan for the Riverside area, and you'll hear from Vita shortly. To Timothy Jenkins, MD, Area Medical Director and Chief of Staff for the San Bernardino County area, the largest area in Southern California, 2 hospitals, and more than 1,000 physicians and more than 600,000 members. Appreciation to Larry Oliver, Chief Administrative Officer for Kaiser in the San Bernardino County area. To Cindy Roth, whom you'll be hearing from shortly, who's just been an instrumental partner and nominator, President and CEO of the Greater Riverside Chamber of Commerce. And finally, and you'll really enjoy hearing from her, to Denise Russell, founder of Magic Hair Company, our alumni speaker. Just a few more acknowledgements to our elected officials, many of whom are with us today. To Aquanetta Warren, Mayor of the City of Fontana, to the Mayor of the City of Moreno Valley, Extian Gutierrez, to David Marquez, Council Member from the City of Moreno, to the City of Riverside elected officials, Jim Perry, Council Member, Andy Melendrez, Council Member, Paloma Montez, Ward 1 Council Assistant, to Aaron Edwards, Ward 1 Council Member, and I don't want to leave out Frank Areola, Council Assistant for Ward 4. Thanks as well for your presence to Opal Helweg, Legislative Assistant to the Riverside County Supervisor, Chuck Washington, to Eddie Torres, Field Representative for Assemblyman Sabrina Cervantes, to Serena Alsup, Field Representative for Congressman Mark Takano, to Daisy Artiega, District Representative from the Office of Assembly Member Eloise Reyes, to Andrea Harlan, Senior Field Representative for the Office of Representative Pete Aguilar, and finally to Laurie Marsden, Chief of Staff to the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors, 1st District. And because we're asking all of you to be nominating partners, and that's the ask, be a nominating partner for this program, which will kick off November 2nd and 4th. If you nominate 1 company, 3 companies, 5 companies, 10 companies, as many companies as you believe could benefit from this program during this extraordinary time in our lives, we'll have an amazing inaugural cohort in the inland region on November 2nd and 4th. I want to express finally our appreciation to those nominators who have been so instrumental in the past, to the County of Los Angeles Department of Consumer and Business, to the CDC Small Business Finance Organization, been amazing partners over the years, to the San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership, to the Monrovia Chamber of Commerce, and to the Pomona Chamber of Commerce. And with that, I'm going to introduce 3 speakers. I'm not going to keep introducing them. They'll each pass the microphone to each other. First, you're going to hear from John Yamamoto, Vice President of Community Health, Government Relations, and Community Engagement for the health plans in Southern California. As I said, he's been with us as a partner and a leader from day one. Got his JD degree from the University of Michigan Law School, undergraduate Carnegie Mellon, and a fun fact, he's from Maui and he's on the board of directors of the Maui Health System. Then you'll hear from Greg Christian, Senior Vice President, Area Manager for Kaiser Foundation Hospitals and Health Plan in the San Bernardino County Service Area, whom we got to know so well a couple of years ago. He served in this capacity since 2007, and over Greg's tenure in the San Bernardino County area, he's led the opening of 2 new state-of-the-art hospitals in Ontario and Fontana, while guiding the organization to several quality and service awards, including top ranking as best hospital in the Inland Empire and San Bernardino County. And finally, Greg will pass the microphone to Vita Willett, who's the Senior Vice President and Area Manager for Kaiser Foundation Health Plan and Hospitals for the Riverside area. Vita started her career at Kaiser Fontana in 1978 as a lab assistant. Think of that. Think of what this country is all about when you can start as a lab assistant in 1978 and play such a critical leadership role for the most important integrated nonprofit healthcare delivery system in America. And while advancing her career at Kaiser, Vita also attended college part-time at Cal State at San Bernardino to earn her master's degree in business administration. She's known for her collaborative style, emphasis on performance, and passion for high-quality care and service. So with that, take it away, John Yamamoto, followed by Greg Christian, followed by Vita Willett. Thanks all of you for being with us today for this inaugural event at this particularly important time in all of our lives. John?
Thank you, Steve. And good morning, everyone. And welcome to this kickoff meeting of the Intercity Capital Connections program in Inland Empire. You know, we've been with Steve and ICIC working on this program since 2016. And over those years, we've been talking about having an Inland Empire program, not just inviting people from the Inland Empire to LA County to participate in an LA County program, but to have a cohort in the Inland Empire. And we're really pleased that we're finally able to bring the program to the Inland Empire. And I just regret that we aren't able to meet in person. This kickoff meeting typically is a time when we can break bread, have a beverage, talk, learn about the program, and really get excited about it. But I hope we're able to achieve that virtually as well. In fact, I'm coming to you from Minneapolis, Minnesota, where I'm taking care of family right now. And before I begin, I just want to hope and offer my best wishes to everybody that you're doing your best to keep yourselves healthy and to keep your families healthy and safe as well. As we all know, these are unprecedented times. We're witnessing the intersectionality of health, economic opportunity, justice, and community. And in fact, I suppose it's fitting that I'm coming to you from Minneapolis as the events that transpired here have sparked a global and national awareness movement and consciousness about the intersectionality of these factors. And this is something that has resonated with Kaiser Permanente for many years. But in particular, over the last several years, as a healthcare delivery system, we've become increasingly aware of the importance of social determinants of health. While we all need access to good healthcare, 80% of our health is attributable to factors outside of the doctor's office. And these would be the economic and social and environmental conditions in the communities we live. And the research has shown that low income, high unemployment, and the related factors that arise from those situations are powerful predictors of negative health outcomes. So for us as a total health organization, you may be wondering, well, why are we involved in this small business capacity building and growth space? And it is because we recognize that for us to take care of our community's health, to deal with the downstream health burden, disease burden, healthcare needs of our communities, and do so effectively. We not only have to perfect the delivery of healthcare and healthcare practices, but we really need to focus some of that investment on those upstream factors that impact health. And economic opportunity and economic disparity are among those factors, very powerful factors. So that's why we're doing this. And this is part of a suite of things that we are doing, everything from high impact hiring to our supplier diversity program, to the choices we make in terms of where to locate our facilities. In Los Angeles, we've focused, we invested in a medical office building in the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw area of South LA, and we're going to invest in medical office in the Watts area of South LA. These are two of the areas with the greatest economic disparities, which not surprisingly overlap with the greatest health disparities. So this is the paradigm shift that Kaiser Permanente has embraced, to look at healthcare as beyond healthcare, but also upstream at the conditions in our community that produce healthy people. And that's why we're so excited, and we have been so excited to partner with ICCC on this program, because the focus is on small business capacity building and growth in under-resourced communities that produce jobs, reduce economic and financial disparities, and improve the conditions for health in those local communities. And none of this could be possible if we didn't partner with a good partner like ICCC, but also with the business community and influencers and community leaders who can help identify those small businesses that are right on the cusp of growth, who can produce economic wealth to enhance community health in our communities. And that's the gist of this program. We're so excited to be here virtually with the Inland Empire community, and we're really looking forward to an exciting educational program and a vibrant cohort that meets the mission of this program. So again, I regret that I'm not there in person with you all, but I'm so excited about this program and so excited about your partnership with us to identify small businesses that could benefit from this program. And with that, I want to introduce my colleague and friend, Greg Christian, who's the Senior Vice President and Area Manager for our San Bernardino County service area for Kaiser Permanente, Southern California. Greg.
Greg, unfortunately, you are muted.
Okay, can you all hear me?
Now we can. Thank you.
All right, thank you all very much. What a thrill to be here with everyone. I really want to thank Steve Grossman. If any of you get a chance to spend time with Steve, and certainly a lot of our businesses that join on do get to know him, he has given his life to community service, and what a legacy he has built in many ways. This being, I'm sure, true to his heart, it will be one of his biggest legacies of life. And so we're so appreciative of your leadership, Steve. I've thoroughly enjoyed getting to know you and spending time with you. I also want to thank John Yamamoto. This wouldn't be possible in Kaiser Permanente without John's just his faithfulness to community. It's just amazing, and he's been such a good friend of mine over the years. John's the kind of guy, when he calls and says, hey, would you be interested? You don't say no, because you want to really partner, and you know it's going to be a great thing for our community. So really appreciative to these two gentlemen. I also want to thank, excuse me, each and every one of our community colleagues who are on the phone today. There are a lot of things going on right now, and for you to be on the phone with us and to really consider ICCC and what we have to offer, we're just so grateful, and we hope that today inspires you to really leverage whatever resources you have available to you to touch our community, so that we can inspire businesses further to improve this, improve the racial wealth gap you heard from Steve earlier.
Also want to thank my partners who Steve mentioned, Dr. Tim Jenkins, our area medical director, and Larry Oliver, chief administrative officer. They're here in the room with me today, and they are huge supporters of this. And we're just so excited to be part of this group. I think I counted on the registration some 65 community leaders on today's, I don't know what the number is today, but actual count, but it's quite impressive as you go through the list. And as Steve and John shared, this is the second time in our county that we've had the chance to partner with ICIC, and it is a thrill. We started as shared back in 2018. We partnered with Los Angeles cohort. Many of our businesses drove all the way into the LA area to be part of this. And John and Steve and our dream was to bring this as an inland empire. And with Vita, Willett's help and her team's help, that's what's made today possible. So we're so excited about that. And for us in Kaiser Permanente, right now the inland empire represents about 40% of our growth. We've pre-COVID, the businesses were really booming out here, especially large and small and intermediate. Just a lot of great growth, warehousing. My wife we drove through this weekend, and I don't know how many Amazon and other kinds of manufacturing and distribution centers around, but it's a great place. Business has gone well, and we want to continue to spark interest in our community. And I think it's just such an important thing. Kaiser Permanente, we're a not-for-profit. We don't have shareholders. We're linked to our own medical team, our own health plan, and our own hospitals. And it enables us to really, our goal is to improve the health outcomes around us. And one of the best ways to do that is through this upstream work within our communities. And what's touched me so much has been, as we've sat around and had a chance to meet many of these business partners, these are leaders. And so this is what maybe a bit of an inspiration for those of you who are thinking about, hey, what list of people, what list of businesses and owners could you make contact with? The thing that's been really impressed me is the businesses I've found have been those kind of leaders that, yes, they want their businesses to thrive. Yes, they want to learn new ways to grow their business because maybe they don't have the resources that ICIC will bring. But these are also owners that just love their employees. They want their employees to thrive. They want their employees to have medical benefits so they too can be healthy. And so that's such an important connection for us in Kaiser Permanente is if we can be a small part of that, we're all in. And so that's all, it hits on our mission squarely. And so, these are challenging times. Right now, Dr. Jenkins, Larry, and I, we're huddled up with a lot of our leadership teams working through much of the impacts of COVID and what we can do to improve our, the health in our communities. And San Bernardino County in particular has hit one of the hardest counties hit as of the last 6 weeks or so. And so this morning we're talking about how to get back to opening up our operating room backlogs. And so it's a thrill to be in this community. It's a thrill to be part of it and to make an impact. The other thing I just wanted to mention real quick about Kaiser Permanente and our social mission and our community mission is just here in San Bernardino County. Last year, we provided over $730,000 in grants to 33 different organizations and provided in-kind expertise and resources too. So as you can see, this is such a natural fit for us to be part of ICIC and this program, which offers free training, some education, mentorship, small business marketing and to build their business and grow capacity. And then this access to capital you're going to hear about is amazing, especially during these tough times. So we're just thrilled to be part of it. We're thrilled to be working with our partners over in Riverside County. And I want to then now is appropriate maybe to hand off to Vita, but let me just share a couple things about Vita. Vita and I have known each other, I want to say probably well over 25, maybe close, probably 25 years now that I think about it. I want to give away our age, Vita. And I would say Vita is my BKS. she's my best Kaiser friend. We've been friends for a long time, and it's nice to have friends when you're serving a border and an open area where we need to use each other's resources effectively, efficiently, because it's at the end of the day, it's all about you, it's all about our community, it's all about our members, not about us. So with that, I can say we've got a great partner with a big heart, and let me introduce Vita Willett, Senior VP and Area Manager for Kaiser Permanente in our Riverside area. Vita.
Thank you, Greg. Wow, I really appreciate that. Again, Greg is a great friend and colleague, and our Inland Empire Kaiser Permanente members are all of our members, so we really appreciate our partnership. I just want to, again, thank everyone on behalf of Kaiser Permanente. Greg Christian told me about this program a year or two ago, and we were so pleased that we were able to really make it happen this year. I want to thank Anna Maria Bearden and Cecilia Arias, our Community Relations and Public Affairs Director, for really helping us support this program. We are thrilled to be able to bring this to Riverside County and be able to do what San Bernardino County has done and make it so that our small businesses out in Inland Empire can come and they can stay local. Of course, we're all virtual right now in these days of COVID, but it'll be so nice to be able to make this program more accessible for Inland Empire. Again, our goal is to identify businesses that we can help grow and thrive. It's so important, especially now with the global pandemic, and COVID-19 really has brought that sense of urgency to help our small businesses. I've been, again, in Riverside for quite a while, and I've been a member of the chamber and able to work with Cindy Roth. And I just want to say that I so appreciate being able to be in Riverside. The businesses, our government relations, our partners are so valued. I feel like anytime we need any kind of support or issues in the community, we come together as a community, and it's just so valued. So this is one more opportunity for us to do that. I'm going to try to keep my remarks short because I'm cognizant of the time, but I've heard so many wonderful things about this organization, and I'm so proud that we're able to bring it to our Riverside area businesses. So I want to introduce Cindy Roth, who's our Greater Riverside Chamber of Commerce President and Chief Executive Officer. When we talked about this at our strategic planning with the Chamber, Cindy was so supportive and really helped us to make sure we got all the right people invited to this meeting today. She's really a leader in our community, and I really want to thank Cindy Roth. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Cindy. Thank you.
Cindy, you're muted as well.
Good morning. Thank you, Vita. I will say I've had the pleasure of knowing Vita for over, let's just say, the 20 years also, and it has been a tremendous partnership. I want to thank Kaiser Permanente and the Initiative for a Competitive Intercity for hosting this event. As everybody has indicated with this pandemic, it is more important now than ever in helping our businesses and nonprofits. Economic advancement can benefit the health and well-being of everyone in our communities and our region. Good jobs help individuals afford quality housing, purchase healthy food, and access health care. And increased community wealth attracts commerce and reduces pressure on the affordable housing market. It's imperative right now that we support small and moderate-sized businesses and nonprofits to stabilize, for many of them to recover and rebuild for resilience. Increasing stability in financially disadvantaged communities will support a smart, equitable recovery. I want to thank you. When Vita brought this up prior to our annual board conference, I said we need to put this on the agenda, and it was unanimously supported in early January. I want to thank all the community members and leaders who made time to be here on this call today. You know, this is a rare opportunity when a simple nomination from you will result in additional resources for business owners who are eager for help now more than ever. Thank you to Kaiser. Thank you so much for bringing this forward. Back to you, Vita.
Off of mute. Okay, I
Thank
believe now I'm going to go back to Denise Russell or Diego.
Diego. Diego Portillo here. And once again, thank you. You've heard already quite a few of the reasons why we do this work, and in the aggregate, why it makes sense and why it's an imperative to help small and medium-sized businesses. So we've asked one of the business owners that have participated in the program, Denise Russell, to share a little bit about her experience and her reasons for joining the program. Denise is the owner of Magic Hair Company in Culver City, a one-of-a-kind retail hair extension boutique and salon. They focus on custom wigs, extension, color, and installation. And she's been running her business since 2010. She's participated in the LA cohort in 2019 and has already signed up for joining the group again in 2020 in Inland Empire. So without further ado, let me turn it over to Denise.
Hello, thank you. Can you hear me? Hi, okay. Well, it was a really, really great opportunity for me to be able to attend the 2019 Boston ICC. For me, as a small business owner, that opportunity was amazing. To be able to go on a business trip and be able to travel somewhere, that opportunity doesn't come up very much for a small business owner. So that opportunity was a great experience for me. I know during the pandemic, we can't do that now, but I think that will be something great to offer small business owners. The welcoming mixer at Fenway Park was great. Actually meeting Steve Gross in person was great, to really put a name to the face, because we get so many emails. So it was really nice meeting with Steve there. The one-on-one coaching available, that was really invaluable. I think for a small business owner, the process of putting together a loan package to that process can be very, very time consuming and overwhelming. And I see a lot of business owners just stop because they have no guidance on how to do that, how to prepare that. So the opportunity to have one-on-one coaching to prep you for that process, because we all know that access to capital is exponential in the growth for a small business, and being able to access that and knowing how to ask for that are very, very important components that small business owners need to learn about and don't really have the opportunity. So that one-on-one coaching was really, really informative and useful for me as a business owner, and the other businesses that I know use that. Also putting together the pitch deck. That was very time consuming, but very useful once completed. I was able to use my pitch deck for at least 5 other things that I wanted to present my business to later on in the year that I maybe would not have had time to prepare and put myself in the position to be a part of whatever the program was. But because I already had my pitch deck together, I could take pieces of it and use it towards X, Y, and Z. So that was really great also. The networking opportunity, I've partnered with a manufacturer who was able to put together some of my products. I was searching for that and didn't know how to meet that type of business owner, as well as some other local business owners who I still network with. So the opportunity for me to network with other like-minded business owners that were in my area and in other areas was a great opportunity for me. So I really appreciate it. And anybody that gets nominated, it's a one-of-a-kind opportunity to be able to offer that to somebody.
Thank you, Janice, and definitely looking forward to have you go through the program again this year.
Absolutely.
And a lot of new tools and new opportunities in the program this year.
Thank you.
So at this point, probably most of you are wondering exactly what is the program and what does it look like. The program itself, it has 4 main components, and you heard about a number of them from Janice, starting with the opening seminar. The opening seminar was a full day instruction. It's now 2 non-consecutive half-day sessions in virtual format, but they're still really important learning experiences with professors from across the country that excel in teaching executive education to small and medium-sized businesses in under-resourced communities. This is followed, or in some cases preceded, by a number of webinars that can be a lot more strategic and a lot more pointed. So we'll run somewhere between 12.5 to 24 webinars this year in subjects ranging from how to move your business online to mental health for business owners. So a lot of very interesting topics in the webinars this year. Participants are asked to watch or participate in at least 6 of those webinars and choose the ones that most serve their needs. Denise also mentioned coaching, one-on-one coaching, and coaching takes 2 main branches. The first one, obviously, given our name, has to do with capital coaching, an opportunity to put together a pitch and sit with a lender or an equity investor and get an hour of feedback on your presentation or on your documentation. And because these are coaching relationships, you often get more information that you might in a banking meeting or a loan request meeting. Somebody who can really take a look at what you're doing and say, you know, if you just added one more slide on your board or on your board of advisors, you would really strengthen your ask to go from everything relies on Denise to there's a group of people who are supporting her and making sure that she'll get to the next level. Or it might be the size of your ask or the particular type of instrument that you're looking for. So that's the capital coaching aspect of this. And then if you come to the national conference or participate in the virtual conference this year, you might get an opportunity to sit in front of a different banker and make a dry run of your pitch and get feedback on that as well, sort of an individual Shark Tank, so to speak. The other side of this is business technical advising. And we partner with a number of organizations, the SBDCs, SCORE, in California in particular with Pacific Community Ventures, an organization based out of Oakland that provides one-on-one coaching throughout the year on a variety of topics. Because business owners don't just need to get the cash, they may be having issues with their strategic plan, or they may be having questions about talent acquisition and management, or you may just need someone to check in with once a month. So all those wealth of needs and experiences can be assessed and find the right resource. In many places, we're part of the ecosystem of business technical advisors. And what we found is that business owners take a look and say, there are probably 30 organizations that say that they can help a small business owner like me. They all use slightly different language, slightly different procedures. So how do I take the time to find the right one for me? And we can be that connector that says to a business owner, here's 2 resources instead of 30. Pick this one and see how it goes for you, and will change as your needs change. And then finally, the national conference. National conference serves as a capstone, as an opportunity also to continue your learning and your networking, watch a few other participants do a kinder, gentler Shark Tank, and celebrate those who have received the Inner City 100 awards, and get inspiration as well. Denise talked to the power of the network and the opportunity to meet business owners from across the country. If you can do a lot of networking with 70 companies in your area, imagine the power of finding 600 companies that have gone through the same program, but across the country who may be doing similar things. So This year, we've adapted the program a little bit, in particular to offer solutions for survival and thriving in this crisis. The first thing is to adjust the entire curriculum to focus on business recovery and pivots and everything else that businesses are needing as we go through this crisis. The professors have adapted every one of their content. The overall core content has not changed. There will still be strategy, marketing, talent management, entrepreneurial finance, but it is all focused on this moment. How do you make strategy and marketing work in this environment? Offering the opening seminar and the coaching and everything else as a virtual series. As Steve mentioned, this will take place on November 2nd and November 4th, and there are half-day sessions that allow the business owners to, one, absorb, participate, continue the networking, and then still continue with their businesses in the second half of the day. Expanding the coaching program. This year, more than ever, the access points for businesses to receive coaching have been particularly important. Emergency assistance for those businesses that were navigating the PPP or the PPP forgiveness, who can't wait till November. So if they apply for the program and get accepted to the program today, they can get matched with coaching before the cohort happens. The other thing that we heard from business owners was that in a room of 75 businesses, it can get a little difficult to do networking with the right people. So finding and creating CEO groups allows people to communicate a little bit better and do some accountability and follow through the program together. We've updated the program criteria. Up until this year, we said that we traditionally work with businesses doing $500,000 in revenue or more. At this particular moment, we are trying to help as many businesses as possible. As Steve mentioned, this year has highlighted the difficulties, particularly for businesses owned by people of color. So we are definitely relaxing that criteria and trying to help as many businesses as possible. That being said, we want to meet the business owner. So be independent, for-profit, or nonprofit organizations where we can meet with the owner or the decision maker. Have its headquarters or 51% of its physical operations in an economically distressed area or higher, particularly from those economically distressed areas. If you're not entirely sure if a business's address qualifies, if you have questions about the under-resourced area, please just send us a note. We're happy to talk to you one-on-one about that particular business or location. We do not deal with startups. There are plenty of programs that we can refer people to that do deal with startups. So businesses are past proof of concept and have traditionally been around for more than 2 years. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Anna Marie Cruz, but I do see a couple questions. Susan, your question about when we should start nominating will be addressed in a moment. In terms of offering the program in Spanish, it will probably not be in this particular cohort, but please do refer those businesses over to us, as a couple of the cohorts this year will have translation services, materials, etc., so they can participate in the opening day and somewhere else, but continue to do their networking with the Inland Empire cohort, watch the webinars. Webinars will be translated. Some webinars will be offered directly in Spanish, and more. In terms of the underserved areas, as I mentioned, some of this has to do as well with where they primarily hire from, if that is, or where they do their business. and underserved can take a number of different forms. So we have put additional emphasis on immigrant-owned businesses, whether they are or not in a particular area. So those will be some of the conversations. So Susan, if you have a business in mind, please just get in touch with me or Anna Marie or anybody on our team, and we'll let you know in advance if we think that they would meet the criteria. In terms of nominating, no, you do not have to actually be pre-qualified to nominate per se. Anybody can nominate, businesses can self-nominate. We hope that you take a wide look at your group. In terms of the size of the cohort, and then I'll hand it over to my colleague Anna Marie, because of some of wanting to make sure that the experience is valuable and it's a learning, interactive experience for the businesses, we are capping participation at around 75 businesses in the room. So somewhere between 50 and 75 businesses will participate in this particular cohort. So with that, I'll turn it over to my colleague Anna Marie Cruz to talk about the nomination and application process.
Thank you, Diego. Good morning, everyone. So I will go over the process of nominating and applying, as well as go over some important dates to keep in mind. So first of all, we recognize that you are the eyes and ears on the ground that really work closely with businesses in your community. And for an organization based in Boston, when we call on your nominations, it really does help to have your support in making sure that your nominees understand what this program is and why you have nominated them. So primarily, we look at this process in really two key steps. One is for you to identify and nominate those businesses, and two is for you to communicate that you've nominated them for the program. So those are your two key roles. What happens after that is once they're nominated, and by the way, there are two ways to officially send in your nomination. One is uploading them on our website directly, which is for a list of up to 6 nominees. Anything over that, you would submit a form that we would send to you. And that's just it's just a simple Excel form containing their name, their business name, their contact information. So once those nominations are submitted, we then reach out to the nominees. And as I mentioned, without them knowing who we are or why they're getting this call, a lot of times, of course, business owners are very busy. A lot of times they may not even take the call seriously. So it's very important that you communicate what this opportunity is, that it's a tuition-free program, and that it's really meant to support them in their growth. Just last week, I was talking to a number of nominating partners about the importance of access to this type of education that allows businesses to think and work really on the business as opposed to in the business, and that's really the value that I think we can drive with this messaging. That a lot of business owners, while they are, especially at this time, dealing with the day-to-day tasks and pivots, that there's also a strategic type of thinking that they can implement to help them draw out their roadmap for the next 6 months, the next year, 2 years, etc. Now, once we communicate with them about the nomination, that is the prompt to apply. So just because they're nominated, it does not mean that they're already in the program or in the application pool. They still have to complete a simple application process where they're including their business, a little bit about their business history, information of when they were established, what their current challenges are. This helps us understand initially where the fit is, and then once we connect with them for their interviews, we do a deeper dive of really looking into that fit. We want to make sure that we're the right program for them at this time, and vice versa. And then Once they go through that interview process, they're officially admitted into the program. They will then enroll into the 2 virtual seminars, the 2 half-day seminars, but they'll also access our coaching services immediately. And this is that change that Diego mentioned, that this is for the first time we're offering that immediate access to coaching. We partner with a number of coaches across the country, including the SBDCs, SCORE, various technical assistance providers like Pacific Community Ventures. So we are really focused on making sure that they are matched with the right coach based on the needs and challenges that they currently have. So now for the important dates. You might be wondering, well, you know, the seminar is not until November. However, we're doing this kickoff very early in August. Why is that? Well, there's quite a bit that happens in between. So as today is the official kickoff day, that means that we welcome all of your nominations for the Inland Empire starting today. And then the deadline is September 23rd. In between that time, we will be reaching out to you. So don't be surprised if you get emails and outreach phone calls from us. We really want to make sure that, especially for those of you who are on this at this meeting right now, that we don't leave anyone behind in the community. As Diego mentioned, we have a cap on each cohort. So we want to make sure that while other pressing matters may be top of mind, that we're reaching out to you if we don't receive your nominations. So that's sort of my my ask for forgiveness now if you hear from me too often. And then once we reach that nomination deadline, we also have the second deadline, which is the application. Any of your nominees can apply starting today, but their absolute deadline is October 7th. So please do communicate that date. And then finally, we have our opening seminar on the 2nd and 4th. So please keep those dates in mind. And then for the opening seminar, as we mentioned, it is 2 half days with a break in between, and that's really to help our participants digest a lot of the information they've taken from the first day, as well as come up with perhaps new questions or discussion topics for their CEO working group that they'll meet with on the following day. So this will take place November 2nd and 4th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on day 1 and 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. on the second day. So again, the next steps, pretty simple. You would identify, think of businesses that you believe might be a good fit. Try to expand or widen that net a little bit, because we know that even though you may know businesses that have already been very successful, they may still need some assistance with thinking of a pivot, given that it's a difficult time. Or perhaps you're thinking of businesses that have the potential, have been really pushing through, but may need, again, maybe community or coaching or some other form of assistance that helps them reach that next level. So you would go through our, again, nomination website or our page, nominate.iccapitalconnections.org. We will also send you all of this information from today, including the deck as well as the blank nomination sheets. And then from there, we ask that you communicate with your nominees that you are nominating them and this is why, and you hope that they will continue with the next step, which is go through the application. And so with that, we will gladly accept more of your questions. I'll go ahead and stop sharing here.
So I'll take the first one. I think we had a question about had a question privately on whether businesses need to be nominated or they can apply. So for those of you who are sending out emails encouraging people to apply, they do not need to be nominated. They need to learn about the program. So if you have a business or you are a business owner, you can go ahead and apply directly on the link that's on the collateral materials. You will get a simple 2-pager from our team right after this call that you can share with anyone, and it shares both the nomination and application link. Susan Lampick also mentioned sort of this concern about not sharing the nominees' information with us without permission. So, and there are definitely opportunities for you to share the materials with participants or with your nominees and let them know that this program exists. And we can work with you on the follow-up, on the right type of follow-up, if it's multiple emails, or what we can do to make sure that we can reach your constituency in a way that does not violate any NDAs or other agreements that you may have with them. So we've had plenty of experience in recruiting in several areas, so please just let us know what might work with you. Anna Marie has been both on the side of nominating and on recruiting companies, so she will be happy to work with you on language or invitations or anything like that to make sure that we get the word out to your participants. Any other questions before we wrap up? Once again, I want to thank you all for joining us, for taking the time. We look forward to being in communication with all of you and building the best cohort we possibly can in the Inland Empire region. John, you look like you have one thing.
I just want to close by thanking everybody for participating and for your nominations to come. And I also want to encourage a bit of friendly competition. We are also sponsoring a cohort in San Diego. And I know our San Diego colleagues are notorious for throwing down challenges to other sub-geographies in our service area. And so if you hit the max of 75 small businesses, you'll certainly at least tie San Diego. They've already suggested that they're going to be there. So a little friendly competition doesn't hurt.
Thank you, John. And once again, thank you to everyone. Thank you to the entire Kaiser Permanente team and to my colleagues here at ICIC who made today possible and all the work. Thank you, Denise, for joining us and taking time. And we look forward to seeing all of you in November at the virtual kickoff. One last thing, obviously, you are all invited to join in and watch and observe and see the cohort for yourselves. So please do join us, save those dates, and come watch the program. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Hi.